So I had a plan. I was going to scout Europe and look for players from different nations and put together a Wonderkid list from the likes of Croatia, Serbia, Belgium. I've ended up separating them because I found so many players from each of these nations. Now, if you like this idea, please make sure you do go down and subscribe to the channel, because over the next few weeks we're going to be releasing these Wonderkid lists with 5 players from Croatia, Serbia, Belgium, probably some other places as well, to be honest, because these lesser nations, I forget I'm in a circle and you can't, so all the time my hands are moving everywhere and you can't normally see it. But yeah, so I've pieced together a list here. We're going to do it in transfer value order of these 5 players I'm going to suggest. One of them is an outside the box because he's actually at Roma. But the reason I'm recommending him in this list is I think you should add him to your shortlist for whatever club you're managing and just keep an eye on him. Okay, so the first one is Victor Damjanok. I mean, the only bad thing about doing these Wonderkid lists in these nations are I am going to struggle like hell. So value between 250k and 800k. He's a central defender. He's 6'5" at 17 years old. Thanks for making me feel bad about my height, Victor. He's very, very talented, and I think you need to keep an eye on him because long term he could be one hell of a talent. I mean, he's 6'5". He's 6'5". Feel a little bit jealous. The next one is Ante Krenak. I feel like I nailed that one. He's a winger. He can also play left wing back, as I'm guessing an inverted wing back. Very talented stats for a winger. 18 years old. Value between 400k and 1.2 million. At his ability now, he could easily go into any championship side and be in your starting squad. At 18 years old, Croatian, talented, very, very, and he's 6'2", by the way. I mean, I'm picking giants. I didn't actually check I've picked another giant. The one of them at Roma is 6'3", and he's only 16. I mean, what's in the water in Croatia? So he's just joined Roma. 850k, 2.6 million. Maybe you can pick him off on loan once he turns 17. Probably not, but definitely worth keeping an eye on, because I just think when you look at him, he's a very talented player and one I definitely have to add in this list. So the next one is Stipe Biok. 19 years old, playing the Hajduk split. And wow. At 19 years old, value between 1.9 million and 5.6 million. But if I picked him up for a Premier League side, I would not be disappointed. And the final one we're going to look at is Martin Baturina. Baturina, we're going to go with. God's sake. 19 years old. And I would say the best way to describe him is wow. Playing at Dynamo Zagreb. Like I said, 2.5 million to 7.6 million value. 19. Dribbling of 14. First touch 14. Passing 13. Technique 14. Vision 14. Determination of 15. Spirited personality. Just wow. Pick him up. Develop him at a club that has state-of-the-art training facilities, good coaches. He is going to be state-of-the-art. He's just good. He's just a good player. I'm impressed by all 5 of them, to be honest with you, and I think they could develop into some great players. So let's jump forward and see how they look 6 years into the future. The reason it's 6 years is when I was scouting all of these people, I did 1 year in the future, then another 5 years, but I decided there's no point to looking 1 year into the future when I went through it. So that's pretty much the reason. So here we are, and they have some value. So the Romanian who is at Roma, sorry, he's not Romanian, he's Croatian, for God's sake. It's because of Rome. Rome gets in my head and I'm like, oh, Romanian. No, he's at Roma. He's Croatian. He's still only 22. He's valued between 65k and 200 grand. And I feel like the reason behind that is Roma have not developed him correctly. So go in and pick him up and fix him. He's 6'3" still, jump reach 15, good passing, good tackling, good heading, good first touch, good dribbling, great mentals. For that price, he would slot into any championship side, starting 11, and you could develop him into a mid-Premier League player, I think. Very talented player, very talented. The next one is Stipe Buick. The winger who was at Hajduk Split when you start, and he's ended up moving to Ghent, and they've not really used him either. 25 years old now, between 190 and 555k value. He's such a good player. I would happily pay that and slot him in as a backup in the Premier League or first choice in the Championship. It blows my mind that they've not been using him more. So the next one is Ante Krenak. He's still in Croatia, actually. Let's have a look. His story is more interesting. So he's ended up going to PSV for 1.3 million. Dotted in between the first team and the reserves before going back to Croatia on a free. And again, value between 1.4 and 4.3 million. He had a move for over $1 million. Didn't work out, but again, such a talented player. 6'3" again. So talented. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. So we're now looking at the 6'5" centre back. The only thing I would say is when the players are 16, 17 years old, how is Football Manager not inputted that they grow more? He should have grew to about 6'7". Because you're going to keep growing. You don't stop growing at 16. I don't think. Should probably Google that. But value between 1.7 and 5.2 million. He's listed for loan at the minute in Marseille. If they develop him nicely, he is just a powerhouse of a defender. And it blows my mind he's not developed more. And this shows how when the AI is in control of players, they just don't step up how you would think they would. But the final one is Martin Baturina. Oh, see how quick I was at that? Just nailed it. Very, very talented player. He's now 25, 55 caps for Croatia, value between 12 and 36 million. But just wow. Just wow. And when I look at these players in this shortlist, I would have all of them. I would have all of them. And I feel like we've left the AI to these Croatian players, and they've just not developed them how they should have. They've not developed them how they should have. We could have developed these into something insanely good. Come on, AI Football Manager. Make sure you check these players out. If you have signed any of them, make sure you do let me know below your thoughts on these players. Do they develop into the players you hoped they would? Did you sell them? What did you do to them? Let me know in the comments below. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman, and I'll see you next time.